More than actions, discovering the rewards behind good deeds. My dear friends, today we explore a question that touches the heart of every Christian life. What lies behind our good deeds? St. Francis de Sales reminds us that every good action is more than an external performance. It is a movement of love that transforms us from within. When we understand the deeper rewards of good deeds, we live with joy, purpose, and union with God. The first point for our reflection today is the intrinsic value of good deeds. Good deeds, says St. Francis de Sales, have a value that goes far beyond their visible results. They build our character, purify our hearts, and unite us to God. First of all, growth in virtue. When we do good, we grow in virtues like gentleness, patience, humility, and charity. These virtues refine our hearts, making us more like Christ. The more we act with goodness, the more goodness becomes our second nature. Secondly, union with God. The deepest goal of every good action is to unite us with God. Each loving deed offered with the right intention becomes a step toward divine intimacy. As St. Francis de Sales says, our actions should assist in the renewal of the church and the salvation of our neighbor. Thirdly, spiritual fulfillment. True fulfillment does not come from applause or recognition. It comes from the peace of knowing that we are living according to God's plan and contributing to His kingdom. The second point for reflection today is interior transformation. Good deeds do not only change the world, they transform us from within. First of all, purifying intentions. Our motives matter. St. Francis de Sales urges us to do good purely out of love for God, not for praise or gain. When our deeds spring from love, they become sincere and pleasing to God. Secondly, cultivating humility. Doing good reminds us that everything comes from God's grace. As St. Francis de Sales beautifully says, nothing humbles us more before God's mercy than the multitude of His benefits. Thirdly, increasing charity. Charity is the soul of every virtue. When we love others genuinely, charity brings with it all other virtues and perfects them. The third point for reflection today is the impact on our relationship with God. Every good deed deepens our friendship with God. First of all, experiencing God's presence. When we begin our actions with prayer and offer them to God, we keep His presence alive throughout the day. Our work becomes worship. Secondly, growing in gratitude. Reflecting on the good we do fills us with gratitude, not pride. Gratitude opens our hearts to love God more deeply. As St. Francis de Sales says, after every good act, conclude with thanksgiving for His goodness and mercy. Thirdly, conforming to God's will. Good deeds align our desires with God's will. We begin to see everything through the lens of His divine plan. The fourth point for reflection today is rewards in our relationships with others. Our good actions radiate outward, transforming the community around us. First of all, inspiring others. When we live our faith authentically, others are moved to do the same. The Salesian spirit invites us to be gentle witnesses who lead by example. Secondly, building a just society. Through love and service, we contribute to a more humane and just world. St. Francis de Sales reminds us that the gospel calls us to build peace and justice here and now. Thirdly, experiencing communion. Good deeds create bonds of love. They break down barriers, foster forgiveness, and build genuine communion. Every act of kindness echoes God's own tenderness. The fifth point for our reflection today is overcoming challenges and imperfections. The path of doing good is not always easy. St. Francis de Sales teaches us how to persevere with courage. First of all, embracing weakness. We all are imperfect, but our weaknesses can become doors through which God's grace enters. The saints too had faults, yet they became holy by trusting God's mercy. Secondly, perseverance. Goodness must be steady, even when misunderstood or unappreciated. We must not grow weary. Walk always on the road of perfection, says St. Francis de Sales, without loitering, whatever the difficulties may be. Thirdly, the power of intention. What gives value to our deeds is not their size, but the love within them. A small act done with great love is more pleasing to God than a grand gesture done for human glory. The sixth point for our reflection today, eternal rewards. Our good deeds have an eternal dimension. They reach beyond time. First of all, meriting eternal life. When our actions are united with Christ in charity, they gain everlasting value. Our fruits draw their worth from Him, the true vine. Secondly, advancing Christ's kingdom. Every act of love strengthens Christ's hold on the world. The right intention of our deeds, says St. Francis de Sales, directs the entire course of our life. Thirdly, receiving God's love. The greatest reward of all is to experience God's boundless love. Our good deeds open us to that love which lifts our soul toward Him in joy. To conclude, a life of purpose. St. Francis de Sales invites us to live each day as a prayer in action. Every smile, every service, every sacrifice offered in love. The true reward of our good deeds is not what we receive, but what we become. People filled with love, humility, and peace. Let us then act with intention and gentleness. Let our deeds shine quietly but powerfully, transforming us, our communities, and the world around us, until one day we hear those blessed words from the Lord. Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Master. Live Jesus.